Everybody. So we welcome you at the keynotes session and masterclasses from our select representatives of the investor committees and community of the token. And today I'm happy to introduce you to the keynote address from Tony Evans and Kingsley Kobayashi, both co-founders of FGC Group. And today's topic of their discussion would be how to make returns in these market conditions. Tony, could you start with a brief introduction of yourself and the company?
Yes, thank you, Nadia. Yes, my name's Tony Evans. I'm co-founder of FGC Group. We're based out in Tokyo. We are an investment advisory company for blockchain and crypto and for investors. The company's been established for over 5 years now, and we've been focusing more on the financial side of things. We have operations globally across Asia, Middle East, Africa. We've just announced a huge increase in our Nigeria operations, as we see that's going to be the next wave. Europe is the other place. So we focus more on the financial side, and we're looking at returns for our clients as well as ourselves, because any investment we do it for ourselves and our clients. So we have a vested interest.
Thank you, Tony. And Kingsley, could you also briefly introduce yourself?
Hi, thank you very much for having me here. My name is Kingsley Kobayashi. I am in business there for about 20-30 years, and we founded this company about 5 years ago to cater to the digital currency and investing in digital currency. Every other thing Tony has already said that. I'm not going to go back to that anymore. Thank you.
So I'm giving the floor to FGC Group with their masterclass and keynote address of how to make returns in these market conditions. And Tony, please take the floor. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Nadia. Yes, how to make returns in these market conditions was an interesting topic for us, because we get asked this on a lot of basis. And just before the masterclass, me and Kingsley were preparing over the last couple of days, and we were talking about it. Myself, I was looking at it from an investor point of view and how to make returns in regards to trading, in regards to how to time the market and when to exit the market. But then there was another perspective that Kingsley had of it, and I'm going to pass it over to him so he can explain his perspective of it.
Yeah, hello everyone. The COVID-19 pandemic has created a volatility in the marketplace, but we are not looking at the negative side of it. We are looking at the positive side of it. How do we make returns during this time? What kind of business do you invest in? What we are thinking of investing in is we are looking into commercial real estate that we are investing in. We are looking into different digital currencies. We're also looking to doing M&A, which means there's a lot of small and medium-sized enterprises around the world, and they are all going bankrupt. The idea of buying them over and merging them together is very good. You marry different 2-3 projects together, and you then start managing them to produce high returns for you. Another thing we are looking into is telemedicine. When you look at telemedicine, all the focus right now is on COVID-19. There are patients dying from high blood pressure, diabetes, every other ailment. You have people giving birth at the hospital. How do we make sure that they are being taken care of? So in investing in this side of the business, you're also making money on a daily basis, because they keep running. Another thing you can make money on is agriculture. Agriculture has been identified as one of the best business during this COVID-19, because there is no country in the world that have shut down supermarkets for food or shut down places for medicine. So at the long run, investing in telemedicine and investing in agriculture, whether it's the beginning of where you plant the fruit, the whole chain of food industry is going to go up. It's where you can make money. Bars and discos will close up, but restaurants can do their delivery, they can do their marketing and still make money from it. So there's a lot of things out there that you can actually key into. Another you can key into is Bitcoin itself, digital currency itself. Digital currency is not compared to gold. During the early 90s and the early 19th century, a lot of people were investing in gold, but the value of gold is the same at that time. It doesn't change. The only competition you have with it right now is BTC, which is digital gold. Digital gold is going to take over a lot of businesses from the fiat, because touching money alone make you sick. The easiest way to transfer this COVID-19 is you touch money, you give it to the other person touches the money and give the change to the other person. So digital currency is here to stay, in my belief. So investing in digital currency, investing in Bitcoin and things like that, you are bound not to lose. When you look at the real estate industry too, you can actually invest with Bitcoin right now. You can do whatever with digital currency. You can buy property with digital currency, you change it back to BTC, and you are doing your trading, you are making money on a small scale. And the more you invest, the more you make money. So I will let Tony talk for a little bit, and I will come back later.
Thanks, Kingsley. So
thank you.
From our point of view, the one thing is the human aspect of it. When we look at the investing side of it, it's all based on the emotion. The human emotion of greed and fear is the one thing that drives the marketplace. It's one of the things that drives the perception of the marketplace. Most time when the market goes up, people want to buy, and when most time when the market goes down, people want to sell. It's actually the opposite effect could be the best thing is when markets are going down, it's a great time to buy at a discount. And when the markets go up, people want to look at exiting their and actually making profits. And the one thing that we have been focused on as investors and as advisors ourselves is to have this ideology put over. When Bitcoin went down from 9,000-10,000 all the way down to 3, we were telling investors, okay, this is a good time to go back into the market and average out a price, not to go back in straight away, but in what they call dollar cost averaging. That was to go into the market slowly and consistently every month, putting a small amount of money into the marketplace to getting returns. There's an old saying that it's actually time in the market opposed to time in the market that is key. And that's one thing that we have been focusing more and more on is creating different strategies. The old strategies of investing into the marketplace is as relevant in cryptocurrency and digital assets as it is in traditional investment. Because the one thing that drives the market is the human beings and the human aspects of it. The perception of making money or losing money is what drives the market up and down. So what we're trying to do from our side is to set goals for ourselves and to set goals for our investors and on how to do it. And Kingsley's already gone over some key areas where we have been focusing on for our clients and ourselves. Is the real estate in regards to telemedicine and Bitcoin. And these are 3 different kind of investment, but the key investment is they are making money during these times. We should not look at things in the short term. We should look at things on the long term. And I think the one area where we have been focusing quite heavily on over the last couple of weeks is the COVID one, and the one area where Kingsley's has taken much more of an interest in it is telemedicine. And I think maybe I'll revert back to Kingsley. You've been looking at this in a great deal of telemedicine and the opportunities here and how it helps. What do you see as it were? Why are you looking at this in a big way for us as a company and for investors? Where do you see the opportunity here?
Well, I also have a pharmaceutical company that produces herbal medicine, like Kobayashi bitters, medicines for high blood pressure, medicines for diabetes. I believe in using the nature to heal ourselves at a lower cost. So for me, telemedicine is the next stage in investment, because people who are sick right now from COVID-19 are taking every space in the hospitals. You have women who have just had a child. The aftercare should be done by telemedicine so that the children or the kids that have been born don't contract this illness. You have people that have undergone surgeries, and you have to cater to them from home. So that's very important for telemedicine. Behavioral health management and things like that. We have to look into that. Then you have people that have been discharged from the hospital. How do you follow up? You don't want them coming back to the hospital. So I think the world needs to invest more in the telemedicine so that making use of blockchain and having the data. Blockchain itself is very important in our day-to-day life. I'm not talking about cryptocurrency right now. There has to be a difference between cryptocurrency and blockchain. For the first time, the whole world is looking into using technology to do a lot of things. If you look at the developing countries, the small and middle enterprises don't even have data for them. And this cater for 70% of the population in most developing countries because they work to fend for themselves. So how do we use this to help the populace? The only country that have really taken this into account is Ireland. Ireland is doing very well with the small and middle enterprises. They have data for them. They are trying to create something very important for them. And I actually applaud them. But when you look at countries like Japan and the rest, one would assume that with their high technology things like that, they will be able to cater for their citizens. But unfortunately, that has not been the case. You see that a lot of companies are closing there, a lot of clubs are closing there, a lot of other things are closing there. They've not even gotten their so-called 100,000 allowance and things like that, whereas other countries are already paying this. So these are things we have to learn. Developing countries have to key into this too. So another one is commercial property. Commercial property may be suffering right now, but I believe it's going to take off again seriously. It's going to take off, and people who invest in them right now are bound to make good money in the near future. Another thing that people will look into is clean energy. Clean energy or clean tech is a way to make a lot of money in the near future, especially in developing countries. They have money, but they need 24 hours light and things like that, energy. And if you are able to invest in anything like that, you'll be making money. Back to you, Tony.
Okay, perfect. So yes, the second point that we were discussing, and you've just gone through, is basically wealth is health. There's been so many focus. People are now seeing the opportunities in going back to basics, which is basically food, shelter, okay, necessities. These have been stable industries in this market conditions. We are seeing in the current climate that this is going to be more focused on, and the digitalization of this is going to be much more prevalent, because more people, they want to make the fields more efficient. They also want to make sure they can track consignment of deliveries and stuff, so they can actually know if there's another situation of this outbreak. They have the data to be able to do that. And as a company, we have developed with our sources an application to help with this as well. So we're focusing more on not in regards to what's the opportunities now, but what's the opportunities in the future. Too many times people focus on today's problems. Okay, today's problems will be fixed as now, but we have to look at the future. What are going to be the future problems? What are going to be the opportunities in the future? Okay, and we look back at history, and we look back at if you look at the last crisis, what occurred. Okay, blockchain, the Bitcoin and everything came out of it. Also, if you look about it 10-15 years ago, you did not have the likes of Zoom, you did not have the likes of Instagram and stuff like that. The whole world is actually going more and more digital. But even at the current rates, okay, online shopping has been in our lives for nearly 15 to 20 years. But if you look at the statistics of how much online shopping is done worldwide, you're still looking at probably less than 20% globally. So so what I'm saying is the opportunities is looking at the future, not looking at the problems now. And this is where we've been focusing on. The telemedicine is something that is not going to go away. This has been something that has helped this current situation, and we believe this is going to keep on enhancing and becoming more sophisticated. In regards to commercial and real estate, this is going to be an interesting opportunity, because this is an income generating asset, and also it's an inflation hedge. What people aren't talking about now is all the money that's being printed by central banks. Where is this going to go? Real assets is an inflation hedge. So with the quantitative easing, this will ensure that any real assets like gold, like Bitcoin, like the market, they will absorb this. So we're looking at it from this side of actually inflation hedge. The third part is the digital currency. Why do we see digital currency? We have been advocates of digital currencies for a long time. The marketplace of digital currency is very, very small. People believe that digital currency is big at the moment, okay? But if you look at the exact size of a digital currency, okay, if you take the likes of Microsoft and Berkshire Hathaway, just the cash they have in the bank, I'm talking just the cash, okay, it is more than the crypto markets at the moment. So the crypto market is very small. We are seeing the growth of this over time, but the thing people need to realize is, okay, that this is not, yes, you can make a lot of money in crypto, but also you can make a lot of money in any kind of business. But people are very impatient. We see people want to see returns yesterday, and they want to see not decent returns as what we would say 5, 10, 15%. They want to see 100, 1,000, 10,000%. These returns are over time. Yes, it's achievable. If you look at the Amazon stock and everything like that, it's achievable, but this has gone over a period of time. So the one thing that we focused on is marrying expectations with reality. Okay, that's the main thing. The third thing is, okay, we've been focused on is where's the new opportunities? Okay, the new opportunities is in the traditional markets, okay? And when we talk about traditional markets, we're talking about our home base from Tokyo to London to New York and stuff like that, to the traditional marketplace. But we see opportunities in the new markets, okay? And we have been focusing on Africa. We believe Africa holds the key for many opportunities and many returns, okay? From voting to a blockchain in regards to putting resources on blockchain, but also just from the investment side of things, okay? We are seeing a huge uptake there, and this is something that both of us are very passionate about, okay? And I'm going to ask Kingsley to come back in here just to go over our viewpoints of the opportunities that Africa is giving us as from crypto as investors, and the opportunities as it does from a society point of view.
Thank you very much, Tony. I would like to go into some aspect, because the truth is we don't, COVID-19 is probably here to stay, but we have to find a way to make money one way or the other. I see that it has created opportunity for people to stay more with their family, to spend time with their family, which is good. But after all these, there's going to be a lot of legal cases that will need lawyers to work on. Because when you declare a state of emergency, what does that mean? You know, an average man cannot actually interpret that, whether it's force majeure or what it is. How do you have? See, we're going to need experts in that area. So investing into the legal system right now is one thing that is very important for us as a company. We are also looking into, like I said before, go right time from the time they are drilling to the time they are processing to the byproduct. One is able to know everything on blockchain. Most African countries that have that right now are trying to work it out. When we came here to Nigeria 3-4 years ago, they were not actually aware of blockchain. But right now, it's accountability and security about to get their money, because even if you're not in good terms, they'll be smart years to you. So we are looking at working on that. We are looking at working on the energy sector, because the energy sector in the developing countries, not to write home about, but I believe that if it's put on blockchain and we have more investors, we can provide clean energy. I am involved with waste energy for Nigeria, for Africa. I'm the head of waste energy for Africa as a whole, with a company in Canada. So I truly believe in energy is the next stage, is the next thing where we want. Even for developed countries, they are trying to get rid of the nuclear power plants. So they will also need more clean energy. So we are going to focus more on investing in those things, and our investors too are going to put their money in those things, because we don't ask people to invest if we are not investing. I don't believe in put your money in the cloud. No, it has to be asset backed. It has to be genuine. And once they pass through the KYC AML, we move forward with it. And we are hoping that in the next 3-4 years, a lot of our investors will be smiling back from the bank.
Yeah, of course.
Back to you, Tony.
Thank you very much. And the thing is, I think we should just focus a little bit on the Nigeria aspect of it. It's something that astounded us over 3 years ago, that Nigeria had one of the highest Bitcoin searches in the world, and as such, the adoption of it has been so immense in Nigeria. Yeah, people don't realize how big the market is in Africa, and especially Nigeria just as a whole, just because if you look at one of the largest cryptocurrencies exchange in the world, Binance, okay? Binance has Nigeria Naira on their currency, on their platform. The opportunity there is staggering. And what you were talking about, everybody there is using the digital side of things with phones and stuff like that. Is there anything that you can see yourself, the opportunity in Nigeria in regards to crypto, or do you think it's just opportunity as a whole, Kings?
Well, we just acquired an office here in Nigeria, and we're planning to open it up to the public. We're buying over an exchange to put here. It's better to be on ground. The Nigerian market is very huge. The African market as a whole is very huge, and the population here is about 200 million, and you have about 30% of that as men are used to the digital currency. So we're going to charge of that. We have to key into that opportunity and make sure it works. But we want to do that by working with the government, by working with the regulations, so that we are able to allow people to make use of it. A lot of them are investing in MLM and things like that. I am not saying MLM is bad, but I don't invest in MLM because from my experience, it has a short period to leave. But if they invest on different projects using blockchain, let's say payment system, the only country that be able to do payment system successfully is Kenya. And no matter how poor anybody is in this country, they have a phone, they have a smartphone. And with that smartphone, they are able to send money home without charges, without these through BTC and things like that. Giving them a platform to do that will be very profitable, because all the refugees outside the country, outside the world, wherever they are, want to send money back home, whether they are from Syria, whether they're from Iraq, whether they are from Europe, they would like to send money back to their families. But how do they do this? They are not legal in the countries they are. So the only way they can do that is transfer money through digital currency to their people. And the best way to do that is through the smartphone. I'm talking about the unbankables right now. The unbankables has a very high percentage in the whole world. not just Africa, not just South America. Even people in America, you'll be surprised that most of them don't have account. I live in Tokyo, and I know that a lot of people don't have account. So it's just the way it is. So we have to be able to reach out to these people, and with the blockchain and digital currency, be able to help out the world and help out ourselves. Back to you, Tony.
No, I agree. It's something that we've been focusing on as a company now as investors, is basically looking at the unbankables and stuff like that, because it's a growing market. It's not a nice growing market, but it is a growing market. So that's a key point. One of the things that we were talking about, and one thing that we've noticed a lot, is people don't actually know when to get out. No, people don't understand when to sell. Yeah? People get too greedy in the marketplace. Yeah. We've had so many people come to us as, how do we make money in Bitcoin and stuff like that? And these people had Bitcoin from $1,000 and had it all the way up towards $15,000, $16,000, but they still didn't sell. So the one thing that we always look at as advisors and investors is, we always put an exit strategy for our investors and ourselves before we go into a project, just because we know our emotions gets over us, and if that's the case, then that would have a huge impact on our ability to deliver returns. So the whole thing is, from our side, is we always look at the exit strategy before we go into these kinds of projects, into these kinds of opportunities. And that's been something that a lot of people don't agree with us, because they always say, oh, you could do so much more. But our philosophy has always been, it's better to have half a bag of sugar than no sugar at all. So I think it's something where people need to understand that emotion plays such a big part in investing. And the one thing is, investing is just not about making money, it's also about making time. Time's the only asset in the world you cannot buy, and once you spent, it's gone. So the COVID situation has actually shown us that by working from home, by using digital, has been a huge benefit for some people, being able to work at home and be able to spend more time with families. So every situation has a good and a bad, and one has to look at the opportunities. And that's one thing that you've emphasized a lot, Kingsley, is we have to look at the positive side of things. And I'm in agreement, is because we are going to come out of this. We are coming out of this as a whole. From our, is there anything that you want to say, or just to close off, as I know the time is getting ahead of ourselves, is there anything that you want to leave, like comments, or like as a point of view?
Well, we still have about 14-30 minutes, and what I have to, my advice to people is that this is the best time to invest. The COVID-19 is going to be around for a long time. Hopefully not, but that is my way of dealing with it. And we have to be able to navigate through these things, because a lot of companies are going to close up. A lot of companies are going to die away. But we have to face the potential of making people realize that when everything is down, it's when you actually buy. It's when you actually invest. So investing into different projects like agriculture, like commercial real estate, like healthcare, and every other care, not just to make money, but also being able to give back to the environment, give back to the charity homes, give back a certain percentage of what you are making to help the elderly. These are our major focus. The aim is not to make money alone. The aim is for everybody to grow, and I have always emphasized on that trying to make everybody grow is very important, because that stabilizes your own position. Because if you are the only one that is rich in your family or in your area, you still have to take care of everybody. So why don't and make good use of it? Advice if you don't have that is when you are even beaten up several times what able actually you have to at least I was to look the into all the right now we are investing with so today I'll pass it back to Tony.
Thanks, Kingsley. Yes, so you emphasized a good thing there. It's about giving back to society. It's something that we are very
yeah, okay.
Yes, thanks. It's something that we're very passionate about, is giving back, and that's one thing where making returns, it doesn't mean actually making returns financially, but it's making returns from a private point of view, okay, by making more time or anything like that, spending more time or making the life more efficient. Making returns is setting up your business and looking at it from that point of view, okay. Making returns is also giving back to society, okay. At this time, there's so many people that are in need of help, okay. Giving back to society and giving back to people you care is such a integral part of our business philosophy. So the one thing that we keep on emphasizing is, yes, we are a company and we are investors that make sure we make money, but for our clients and for ourselves, but we make sure that we also give back. That's a crucial part. The one last part of I'd like to close off is the business where it's been going very crazy, is in regards to projects that fail or not succeeding. Is there's opportunities in this as well, is basically bringing these together. You touched on it, Kingsley, that we're bringing these small companies that aren't successful and we're merging them with other situation where they can revitalize themselves. And we're doing this by taking projects that aren't successful and bringing them together with other projects and then reforming them into a much more efficient organization. Because the one thing in regards to projects that have failed is these projects are there. They've already spent the money and they've already got the talent. By bringing these to actual projects that can develop it is a very interesting thing. So the one thing I'm going to leave this is be creative in the way you look at investing. Just don't look at the traditional way, look at things in different opportunities as well, because there's going to be a lot of businesses that are going to be set up from this disaster. There's going to be a huge amount of opportunity here as well, so take advantage of it. Okay, from our side, okay, if you want to get that's the website, but we're both on LinkedIn. Just search for us, okay, and feel free to reach out and ask questions, or if you need any advice or anything like that, please feel free. Okay, we're here to help. We're here to offer our services and our expertise, and we have to thank LA Token for their continued success and developing this online roadshow to be able to give the information, to be able to give this kind of opportunities to people globally. Okay, it just shows, okay, you evolve to survive, and the one thing we're talking about is this kind of attitude of adapting to your market is crucial on how to do this. Any final thoughts, Kings?
Stay safe, take precautions, wash your hands, wash your doorknobs, just be safe, wear your mask when you go out, and we all get out of this alive. That is the most important thing. You have a second chance when you are alive, not when you are dead. So stay safe and stay alive. And thank you to La Token for setting this up. You are doing something that is different right now, because when others are crying that we cannot travel to Egypt, travel to America, travel to Puerto Rico, travel to London, we are doing this online. This is very good. This is a good idea, and I appreciate your efforts in trying to bring the digital family together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys.